Hello, hello, and NECAs to everyone. Of course, by NECA I mean NECA, so if you thought I meant otherwise, you need to have your mind checked out because you're sick. Anyway, yes, NECA, known for making some high quality figures of very good build, and I have suddenly got many of them. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to do all of them that I've got. May not be many, but it's all I've got. So, first of all, we have this happy chapper from Prototype, Alex Mercer. Now, as soon as I saw this figure, I was in love, hunting for it absolutely everywhere I could find it, and in the end, got it on sale. Brilliant. So, as you can tell, well, as you would tell if my camera was any better than this, it's pretty well detailed. The arm, pretty nice. I do wish there were interchangeable arms because he has many different powers other than this, but I suppose this is his most iconic move from the game, and so this is all that people would remember it for, as it's on the box cover and everything. So first, let's take a good look at him. His articulation, well, his articulation is both good and bad in the same time. How is this? Well, his arm has got some amazing articulation. It can swivel at a joint there, it can swivel at a joint on his shoulder, and it can also swivel out and in. And an unusual thing, it's difficult to describe, but the motion when you move these joints, it feels very, I don't know, fluidic, almost as if there's something there, sort of fleshy. More so than the other joints on the figure, which make it feel very, I don't know, virusy, sort of giving it a special feel for this arm. His other arm, slightly less. You've got his hand articulation, his elbow articulation. It doesn't bend, it just twists. So you can have him catching a ball, throwing a ball, waving to his neighbours, grabbing their heart out and eating it. Yeah, you know the idea. And his head. Now, this is something I was a little bit concerned about. Up to the head. Naughty camera. Yes, blame the camera, not the idiot. Using it. Okay. His head, as we all know from we've played the game, if you have played the game you'll know this, he has a hood. Constant hood. You see, this is why Cole McGrath is better. He doesn't always have a hood, but we'll save that for another day. We can see he wears the hood, but you'd also be quite worried, would the hood get in the way of articulation? Well, let's have a look. Short answer is no. Long answer is no. Even longer answer is no, because, and here's the big one, the hood is actually, while it's attached to his head, it is a separate piece of material, and so if you want to turn his head around, it does not get in the way. The biggest problem I have with this, however, is that his collar of his shirt is quite loose as well. Quite nice fabric. But it is very likely to, as you're moving it around, get trapped, and you will have it be, well, very obvious that it is just a single piece of fabric. And it can take quite a while to get it back, looking like it's a part of his coat again. Not too big of a deal, but it can still look a bit odd when you're displaying it. Now, my biggest problem, you know, I say, not all of his shirts is the same soft fabric, but my biggest problem here, and the biggest thing if you want to display this, is lack of articulation below the waist. He does not have any bendable legs. He, as far as I'm aware, cannot twist at his waist, midriff. The only changeable parts there are his feet, which can move around, you can see, around, swivel, which would be fine, except movable feet are only useful if they can move for the legs. You know what I mean? You change the leg, you move the foot. But you cannot change the legs, meaning there is only one position this figure can stay in, and if you put the legs up in any other position, he falls over. Yeah. I know I was using my bed and he was going to fall over anyway, but it's a good example. So yeah, he's a good looking figure. Very well detailed. talk to the hand. But if you want to display him, his articulation choice is very, very strange, as you can only really display him in one position, and if you move his feet, it'll take a long time to get him back again into the right position. So, alright, very well detailed. Not one of the best NECA figures I've seen, but then I'm saving the best for last. And now, seeing as it's a first one, I have a little extra. And I call it extra because I don't know where I'd be able to fit it in another video. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm not doing very well with words today, am I? Now, NECA, Bioshock 2. Little sister. It's invisible! No, it's not. I've just taken it out of the packaging. And here we are with the little sister. It's not just a little sister, it's a little sister. A tiny sister. A micro sister. Baby sister. Anyway, we could do that all day. Yes, thanks to a friendly neighbourhood independent game shop, I managed to pick this up for £2.50, although I will not mention the name. Discs. Yeah, I definitely did not go there. So yeah, we have the tiny little NECA little sister, and I must say this figure blew me away. I know it's small, but the amount of detail they've still packed into it is amazing. The articulation is brilliant. You've got a head joint that can twist. It seems to be on a ball joint of sorts. And it can twist, swivel. I know they're the same things, but I tried to sound clever by saying them. On her arms there are the hand joint, the elbow joint, a swivel joint just under the sleeve, and of course a shoulder joint, as is on that one. The legs have the same as you'd expect. There is no foot joint, but there is a knee joint, and at the top there is a joint as well to swivel. And the dress is made out of a nice, very soft piece of plastic, and so it can just move around however you want to display the figure, running or walking. And her little thing's fallen off, never mind. That sounded wrong, sorry. I shouldn't talk about little things when talking about dresses. I shall think about that for next time. Anyway, you can pose her in any way you want to, which is really quite nice. The only problem I would say is the hair. It bends quite well, but it does feel flimsy, and you wouldn't want to mess with it very much, because there is a risk, I think, that it would fall off. It feels weak and rubbery. I mean, it can't actually do anything, unlike Crimson Viper, which we shall look at next time. Ooh, foreshadowing. It doesn't actually stay there, so unless you want to just hold your thumb there and go, ooh, it's blowing in the wind, then there's no real point of messing with it, but it's still something to notice. And of course, one last bit of articulation. The Japanese little sister, she can bow towards you. Yeah. And the small accessory she comes with, the Adam needle. Only small, and I must say I do have trouble getting it into her hand and her keeping it there without it going flop. But it is pretty good, pretty well detailed. And for all intents and purposes, it does look what it's supposed to look like, and it does it really well. So yeah, nicely done there, NECA. Now, what did that have to do with Alex Mercer? Absolutely nothing. Or he could turn into a good guy. Don't worry, I'll look after you. What the? No, don't say that. Ah, yes, that's what you came here to see, a grown man playing with toys. Anyway, we shall see next time for the mystery figure, which I have already told is Crimson Viper. I'm terrible at making secrets, aren't I? Anyway, see you next time.